If your polygel keeps lifting or flooding out of dual forms, this is why. One of the biggest reasons for lifting is an unprofessional manicure. So first, gently lift and separate the cuticle from the nail plate using an orange wood stick. The second reason is not properly removing the shine from the nail surface. If any shiny or oily spots are left behind, the product won't adhere correctly. Even the area under the cuticle should be lightly etched using the same manicure bit. Another common cause of lifting is dust trapped under the cuticle area, so make sure to clean that area really well before application. The fourth reason is using too much primer or letting it touch the skin. A very thin layer is more than enough. Applying too much or too little base coat can also cause lifting, especially if it touches the skin. One of the most important parts is analyzing the natural nail. As you can see, my nail has a pretty strong C-curve from both the front and the side, so I need to choose a dual form that matches it properly. Right now, I'm testing two different dual forms, one from the older version and one from the newer version. As you can see, this is the newer version. The cuticle area is thinner, and the structure matches both the horizontal and vertical curves of my natural nail perfectly. But this one has a much thicker cuticle area, and honestly, the architecture just doesn't work well for natural nails. No matter what you do, you'll end up with either product flooding or empty sides. Another really important factor that a lot of people overlook is choosing the right polygel. Here, we're taking a closer look at 4 different types side by side. This one has a medium consistency. You can tell just by looking at it that the balance between the gel and powder is pretty even, which makes it a decent option for dual forms. But this one has a much drier consistency, and you can actually see the powder particles in it. That means it contains less gel, so you have to use more pressure while working. It's not a good option for dual forms, and lifting is much more likely. This one has a much softer consistency, and you can tell the gel ratio is higher than the powder. The main thing to watch out for is the stickiness. Using too much solution while working with it can easily cause lifting. This last one is honestly ideal. The consistency is medium but slightly on the softer side, which makes it perfect for dual forms. The gel ratio is just a little higher than the powder, and the stickiness is moderate and easy to control. Now for product placement inside the form. The area I'm marking here is the stress zone, so this is where the product needs the most thickness. When working with polygel, you should always start placing the product from the cuticle area, unlike builder gel. For product application, you'll need a firm brush, and throughout the entire process, try to work mainly with the middle of the brush, except around the sidewalls, where you'll use the edges of the brush instead. Another common cause of lifting is using too much solution, so make sure to remove the excess and work quickly. Try not to dip your brush into the solution more than 2 or 3 times at most. Use the pressure of the brush to push the product from the center toward the sidewalls. In the first step, just use sweeping motions to spread the product to your desired length. In the second step, use the pressure of the brush to thin the product out around the cuticle area and sidewalls until it's almost flush. This automatically pushes more product into the stress zone, which is exactly what we want. One of the reasons the product floods during application is because there's too much bulk around the cuticle area and sidewalls. The second mistake is placing the dual form onto the nail at the wrong angle. Place the form near the cuticle at about a 45-degree angle, then slowly lower it onto the nail without changing your hand position or releasing pressure from the cuticle area until the sidewalls are covered. If you do it any other way, the product will definitely squeeze out from one area or even multiple areas. As you can see, the product didn't squeeze out from anywhere and stayed completely off the skin. But even when the application looks clean, smooth, and perfectly flush with the natural nail, I still recommend doing a light cleanup around the cuticle area when working with Polygel. Even if the product was fully pressed into place, Polygel still needs a soft refinement around the edges. So no matter what technique you use, if you're working with Polygel, this step should always be done. After refining the sidewalls and free edge, make sure to buff the surface and remove the shine before applying gel polish or top coat. A lot of you asked me to show the correct way to apply gel polish under the cuticle, so let me show you. The first and most important thing is that all the previous steps need to be done properly: a clean manicure and a clean gel application. First, wipe one side of the brush completely clean on the bottleneck, so the gel is only sitting on one side of the brush, not too much, not too little. Don't place the brush directly onto the nail. Instead, place a small bead of gel close to the cuticle area, then use soft, controlled motions to push most of the product toward the cuticle first. After that, pull the gel down toward the sidewalls and free edge. For the second coat, use a little more gel polish and apply it directly over the cured first layer using the exact same technique. But once you reach the sidewalls, use the corner of the brush to fill in any empty areas. This step is really important. Before curing the second coat, pick up a small amount of gel with a detail brush and tilt the finger like this. Always start from the left side of the cuticle area and fill in any empty spaces underneath. It also helps to gently pull the skin upward so you can see the area more clearly. I'm going to apply a gemstone chrome over this color. So first I'm adding a layer of top coat, but I only cure it for 30 seconds, no longer than that, because the chrome adheres much better this way. The secret to getting a sharp square shape and making your gel polish and chrome last longer is shortening the nail to your desired length after the final top coat, then refining the free edge with a file. In the end, thin out the underside with the right drill bit until the free edge is about 0.5 millimeters thick. And that's the final result. Most lifting and flooding issues come from small mistakes during prep or application. So once you learn how to control those details, the entire process becomes much easier. I hope this helped, and I'll see you in the next video.